Imagine handing over your most prized possessions to a friend, trusting them, only to have them returned broken, useless, or not at all. Now imagine that same friend mocking you for something deeply personal. Well, in the 90s, before the internet made revenge easy, I found a way to turn his arrogance into public humiliation. And it worked so well. His own parents didn't look at him the same way for weeks. If you've ever been betrayed by someone who took advantage of your trust, hit that like button right now. Subscribe for more stories where karma isn't just a concept, it's a well-executed plan. Because today, you're about to hear one of the most satisfying teen revenge stories from the golden age of floppy disks. It was the mid-90s. Back then, PC gaming wasn't just a hobby, it was a commitment. There was no Steam store, no instant downloads. If you wanted new games, you either knew a guy, or you paid through the nose. For me and my best friend, that meant pooling what little cash we had, ordering games from abroad through airmail. Doom 2, The Settlers, Monkey Island, each one arriving in a little cardboard box that felt like Christmas morning. And because games weren't cheap, we took care of them like treasure. We'd trade them between us, carefully copy the floppy disks, even duplicate the copy protection codes so both of us could play. It wasn't just gaming, it was trust. Then, the new kid showed up. Let's call him Mark. Mark had a golden ticket, an uncle with hundreds of games we didn't own. When he told us, we couldn't believe our luck. We thought, finally, someone who could make our little gaming circle even better. So we struck a deal. We'd lend him our original games so he could copy them, and in return, he'd lend us his. At first, it seemed perfect, but it didn't take long for things to go wrong. The games he gave us? Corrupted floppies, missing disks, no copy protection files. Sometimes, the games wouldn't even load past the title screen. Meanwhile, every single game we gave him came back scratched, bent, or sometimes not at all. Weeks turned into months. By then, he had a full collection of our best games. And we had nothing but a pile of useless discs. We'd been scammed. And the worst part? He acted like we were the problem. See, Mark wasn't just a thief. He was arrogant. He'd make snide comments about my music taste, mocking me for being a fan of Queen. After Freddie Mercury died in '91, AIDS awareness was everywhere. And for Mark, coming from a strict, conservative Catholic family, it was open season to make gay jokes. I bit my tongue for months, but deep down, I wanted payback. Then fate handed me the perfect opportunity. Our school was hosting an AIDS awareness event. Posters, flyers, even free condoms with the foundation's logo. And that's when the light bulb went off. See, in the 90s, if your conservative parents thought you were gay, it could turn your whole life upside down. Mark had spent months mocking me for admiring a gay singer. So I decided to let him experience what it felt like to be on the receiving end of judgment. My friend and I had something most kids didn't. A home computer with an inkjet printer. With a little creativity, we could make something that looked official. We took the foundation's logo from the flyer, typed up a letter that sounded polite but deeply personal. Dear Mark, thank you for your letter. We understand it's difficult being open about being homosexual, and you have many questions after the event you attended with your class. Please find enclosed a flyer which should answer many of your questions, as well as some condoms. Please practice safe sex at all times. We printed it on crisp paper, folded it neatly, and slipped in the actual AIDS awareness flyers and condoms from the event. The last touch. Addressing it to Mr. Mark's last name, instead of Mark himself, so his father would open it first. We mailed it off and waited. 2 days later, the fallout hit. I wasn't there, but word spread fast. His mother was in tears. His father was furious. And Mark, he was grounded for weeks. His parents were convinced he'd been secretly writing to an AIDS foundation for advice about being gay. The best part? He believed the letter was real. When we saw him at school, we casually asked about the event, dropping little hints to see if the trap had worked. He looked pale, shaken, and angry. Eventually, he put it together that we'd had something to do with it. But even then, he thought we'd actually contacted the foundation pretending to be him. We kept the secret for weeks, enjoying every second of his humiliation. When we finally confessed, more out of pride than guilt, he lost it. We all ended up in the principal's office, with his furious parents demanding to know why we'd done it. I told them the truth. He took our games, wrecked them, never gave us anything in return. And he wouldn't stop making fun of me. The principal gave us a lecture about appropriate behavior, but I could see it in his eyes. He was trying not to laugh. It's been 30 years since then. And you know what? I don't regret it for a second. Because some people don't learn from kindness. Sometimes, the only thing that works is giving them a taste of their own medicine. The letter landed like a bomb. His family saw him differently. His friends whispered behind his back. And for the first time since he'd arrived, Mark didn't strut around like he owned the place. That smug arrogance was gone. And me. I didn't get my games back. But I got something better. The satisfaction of knowing he'd think twice before crossing someone again. Looking back, maybe it was petty, maybe it was cruel, but it was also justice. Because in life, people like Mark will keep taking until they hit a wall. And that day, I was the wall. If this story made you smile even a little, hit that like button. Tell me in the comments, what's the best revenge you've ever seen? And make sure to subscribe for more true stories where karma gets served, old school style.